Here's something fun to do with hot dogs. Make easy crescent dogs. Pillsbury crescent rolls. Make dinner pop. I'm Claudine Ohayon. I've been a voiceover artist for a little more than 20 years. Done everything from animated full-length features to commercials to audiobooks and hundreds and hundreds of promos. When I first started doing voiceover work, the artist was really expected just to be that, to be an artist. So if I had an audition, I go into a casting director's office and they would do the recording and the directing and the editing of the tracks and send that out to the client. While that still does happen from time to time, things have really skewed with technology advancing as it has to where a voiceover artist is now expected not only to digest the copy, analyze it, break it down, direct themselves, but they're also expected to record their own auditions and sometimes even record final tracks for broadcast. So going from being solely a voiceover artist to having to then produce my own auditions and my own tracks was really intimidating. And learning how to do that was challenging. It was really hard at first. The thing about the Sonnox plugins so far is that they've been I have found them to be remarkably intuitive. It's really easy for me to understand. And also, in this world where I'm sort of by myself all the time, trying to do all this stuff, there's some great support, some tutorials and stuff that really made it easy for me to not be nervous about jumping in. And now I get all this great feedback all the time. My agent's always like, wow, that track sounded really good. And it's been really helpful, but also like stress-free helpful. Like it wasn't a big, issue to learn how to use the plugins. Back when I used to go audition and record solely at recording studios and commercial houses, there was a variety of different mics that got used. After a little while, I started noticing that there was a shotgun mic that was getting used a great deal. And I remember the first time I used it, I was doing some promos for USA Network. And I just remember going in and getting some sounds for the engineer and being like, what mic is this? This is like, for me, this mic is fantastic. And it was the Sennheiser 416, which is typically used as a boom mic. But that engineer explained to me that, especially out in LA, they started using them a lot for VO work, specifically around the promo market, because the mic really cuts through a lot of the clutter. Promos are very sound affected, and they have got lots of hits and music stings and loud music, so that way the VO can really cut through.
In a business world of information overload, we strip away the complexity and confusion to give you the essence of financial news. True value. BizAsia America.
So having used the Sennheiser 416 in other studios, when I built my own studio, that was my mic of choice. So that's the mic I use primarily and especially for promos. One thing about this mic, however, that I have noticed is that it does pick up and enhance my natural sibilance. So the Sonnox suppressor I have found to be a really great tool for that. It just kind of takes that sibilance down, cuts it out a little bit so that the finished track sounds really great. Depending on what I'm recording, I either stand further away from the mic or closer to the mic. So if I'm doing something like a car commercial or a cosmetics commercial, that's real close to the mic usually, and I use my lower register for that. So one of the things I've definitely noticed as well is when I'm closer to the mic to get a little bit more of that intimate feeling, that bottom end sometimes, those plosive sounds, I sometimes need to also use the suppressor to get rid of some of those bottom frequencies that don't really serve the track that well. So this is how I deal with the sibilance in my tracks. I use the suppressor here, and
Get ready for glamour and excitement.
There we go. So the great thing about this is that it shows me right here, these two frequencies in between here is where I need to pull the sibilance down. So
live from the historic Hollywood Palladium.
Historic, when you see that hitting in here, this little window in here. So I got to pull this down to meet that frequency.
Get ready for glamour and excitement. Live from the historic Hollywood Palladium.
And then there's this inside button that lets me hear exactly what's being taken out. So you can really hear what it's working on when you play that back. And it's really easy to see. So with the EQ here, really all I do is I put on the low cut filter here, and then I roll this all the way up.
Get ready for glamour and excitement, live from the historic
And then I just start
Hollywood
rolling it back.
Palladium. For the first time ever, you're invited to the movie industry's most exclusive
Right around
party.
100 hertz there. So the last thing in my signal path is the Oxford limiter, which is my secret weapon. It really makes everything jump out, and that's what I really want. I want, when someone's listening to the same audition from hundreds of different people, I want mine to like stand out. So this is really the thing that does that.
Get ready for glamour and excitement, live from the historic Hollywood Palladium.
So that really starts cutting through. Next, what I do is I work with the enhance curve. So I tend to over exaggerate it and then pull it back.
Get ready for glamour and excitement, live from the historic Hollywood Palladium. For the first time ever, you're invited.
It's like the icing on the cake. It's like the perfect finishing touch. So this here's my current signal path. It's what I tend to use lately with Sonnox plugins. So the first one here is the suppressor for the sibilants. Then I use the suppressor for the plosives, for the bottom end stuff. Here's my EQ, here's my compression, and then my limiter, my secret weapon. So, but that's my basic signal path that really works really well for me.